Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi wa kafa. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ibadihi alladhina istafa. Amma ba'du. Farabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa ahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli wa qul rabbi adkhilni mudkhala sidqin wa akhrijni mukhraja sidqin waj'al li min ladunka sultanan nasira. Bismillah wa billah wa tawakkaltu ala Allah. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. In verse number 88, chapter Al-Baqarah, second chapter of the Holy Book of Quran, Allah is saying, وَقَالُوا بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ وَقَالُوا قُلُوبُنَا غُلْفٌ بَلْ لَعَنَهُمُ اللَّهُ بِكُفْرِهِمْ فَقَلِيلًا مَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Our goal in these lectures and these sessions that we do to explain the Holy Book of Quran is to explain the words of Allah, explain the message of Allah that is in these words, and explain or tell the relevancy of the ayat. Because in translations, most of the translation or simple translation, somebody cannot gain the meaning and he is confused. Most of the time people are confused with the words and the translation that is done, and sometimes even with the interpretation that are done, they are confused, because most of the interpretation, many of them of course, they are done according to what has been said centuries ago, and with the knowledge of those people who were centuries ago living, and they knew very short things and very small knowledge that they had about their environment, about the universe, about the all beings. They had very small kind of, or we can say a very small piece of knowledge they had, and they could not encompass all the meaning of Quran. Quran is a universal book. It is containing all the fact of the universe, and people of the previous era, or the one who were good people, they tried their best. That is unquestionable reality. But that was their power, that was their level, that they could do the job they did. But for the contemporary man who have so many knowledge, and he has at a level of knowledge that is uncomparable with the knowledge that had people before us. So now everything, every meaning, every message of Allah got another meaning, and the meaning that is matching for today, because this is universal book and the message of it is also universal, and it is for all the men, for all the time, and for all human race, for all kind of the people. So we have to understand this book every other day, and every time somebody pays more attention to it, he gets the new meaning and at the new level. So Quran is not something that is that should be translated or interpreted at one time, or by someone at some time or some era or somewhere, and that is complete. That is impossible, because word of Allah, they are too so much deep and has so many depths, and maybe somebody with his own knowledge can reach some of the depths and some aspect of that he can get. Maybe a physician, when he read Qurans and contemplate into its content and the word, he may get some meaning that a philosopher cannot. And if somebody is expert in some other matters, he will get some other meaning and other aspect of the meaning he will reach them. So Quran is not something limited. It is from unlimited. The words have unlimited meaning, and they can have so many layers, as it is mentioned in some of the traditions, that some of the hadiths that have come from the holy book, holy prophet. And so we try our best to present an explanation that is like something up to date and for this time and for the era that we are living. So maybe sometimes in the future comes, and maybe the future alims and future researcher may find some more deeper meaning and more better meaning for the words of Allah. So Allah's words are always like a spring that gives water new and fresh, and everybody who comes to this spring, he will get his portion. So in verse number 88, Allah is said as narrating the talk of Israelite when they were called to become Muslim and to believe in Allah and the prophethood of the last prophet. In response, of course, they gave so many of the response, and one of those major of their response that Allah is quoting here, Allah is saying that they said in response to the call of prophet to believe in Allah and his prophethood and the book that has come down now, the Quran, they said, وَقُلُوبُنَا غُلْفٌ وَقَالُوا, they said, قُلُوبُنَا غُلْفٌ, our hearts are locked. Our hearts are locked. No guidance, no other thing can penetrate it. Nothing can go in, because we have already we are already guided. We have guidance. We had prophet, and Prophet Moses was our prophet, and we are people of book. We had a scripture that was Torah, and we believe in that. The prophethood of Moses we believe, and the scripture that we were given, we believe in that, and that is enough. We have locked our heart, and no other guidance, no other any new faith can be penetrate our hearts. Here with this they're saying Allah gives a response, and that response is a very alerting one, and that is a very strong one, and Allah is denouncing them from an aspect and giving them a response from the other aspect. Allah is saying, though they say that they are locked their hearts, but the reality is not this. The reality is that because of their disobedient manner, their diverted and deviated manner, they are cursed by Allah. La'ana in Arabic means somebody that is driven out, somebody that is expelled, somebody that is ousted from an honorable position, an honorable place, or honorable place. If somebody is driven out, it is called that he is the one who is cursed, who is the one that is mal'oon, as Satan is mal'oon, as Iblis is mal'oon, because he was driven out of the court of Allah and court of honor that was there. Allah is telling that, and that why it happens, that is a consequences of, that is one of those consequences of disobeying Allah. When somebody disobeys Allah, he is starting to go out of the court of Allah, the nearness that Allah has given to man. And he is, when Allah talks to him and give him his commands and tells him, and you are my slave, I want you to keep being my servant and do worship only me, do obey only me. When somebody disobeys and deviates from this right path, Allah let him be going and going and going, and after a while he is totally expelled and totally out of the court of honor of Allah. So here Allah is saying, they think, maybe they have in their mind, maybe they are having this illusion or delusion in their mind that they are by themselves, they are rejecting new guidance and they are rejecting the prophethood of last prophet, and they are not allowing any new faith to come to their heart. That is not the case. The reality is that Allah has cursed them, Allah has expelled them from his court, Allah has driven them far from him, and now they are not able to come to him, they are not able to enter to his service and to be his servant. So Allah is telling this truth in this verse with this phrase. Allah is saying, وَقَالُوا قُلُوبُنَا غُلْفٌ. They say that their hearts are locked, they are wrapped, they are so much wrapped that nothing can enter it and nothing can penetrate it. وَقَالُوا قُلُوبُنَا غُلْفٌ بَلْ لَعَنَهُمُ اللَّهُ. The actuality is, the reality is, the truth is that they have not any lock on their heart, but actually they are la'anahumullah. Allah have cursed them, have denounced them, have driven them out of his court. And what is the reason, O Allah? Why you have driven them out? Allah is telling that Allah does not drive somebody out of his court. Allah does not like to make somebody go away from him to worship others, to go and be far from him. Allah does not like. Allah wants everybody to come to him, to be his servant, to obey him and get his reward, get his portion of the life that is after this life. But Allah cursed somebody because bikufrihim, because they showed ingratitude manner. So many blessings, so many favors that Allah blessed them with, they ignored all of them. They ignored all of Allah's blessings and favors, and they, instead of being more obeying Allah and more servicing him and more worshipping him and more being correct on the way of Allah, they went farther and farther and disobeyed Allah. So Allah said they are driven out, they are cursed because of their ingratitude manner. فَقَلِيلًا مَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Allah is giving the consequence of cursing somebody, and Allah is saying فَقَلِيلًا مَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Very short of them, very little of them, very small number of them will become mu'min. They will not accept Islam and they will not become believer. فَقَلِيلًا is a result of Allah's curse. Means that this curse has caused them that they will not be able to become mu'min anymore. May Allah keep us secure and safe. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allah bless you all.